Hello, this is a response video to three videos so far uploaded called What a Corker. It's about books that you find excellent and that you want to tell other people about, and ideally you want other people to be reading them as well. So my book is going to be about art and it's non-fiction. This is the book Andrew Marr. It's a book about drawing. Andrew Marr is best known for being a BBC correspondent to do with politics, but he's got a really sharp eye and brain for art. And the chapter I love is chapter 12. It's called The Shattered Urinal Showers Us All. He's talking about modern art, and he's contemporary art rather, and he's very clear on why some artwork is great and others he questions deeply, but he puts it in such an amazing way. And his basic point is that if art is conceptual and it's really about the concept, the idea, rather than the drawing and the execution, then the idea needs to be extremely good to be interesting. So I'll read it to you because he puts it really well. And he's starting off with a little bit of history about Marcel Duchamp, who originally scandalised the world back in the early 1900s by exhibiting a urinal, signed it and exhibited it in an exhibition. A century ago, Marcel Duchamp, the original conceptual artist, yanked apart the skills of drawing, painting or sculpting from the idea of art. We are still recovering. By signing a urinal or by fixing a bicycle wheel to a chair, he declared that the job of the artist was to bring ideas or concepts before the public. How those ideas were conveyed, the witty Frenchman thought, mattered less than getting them across. Glass cases of objects or written notes could be more effective than flat spaces covered with paint. The whole subsequent history of video art, performance art, art made of rubbish, smashed cars or of bricks, the art of fried eggs laid on tables, unmade beds, pickled sharks, sets of instructions written on cards, of live butterflies, of sculptures fabricated in workshops to the artist's instructions, the art that by and large delights Daily Mail headline writers and Guardian arts writers has emerged like a vast, glittery spout of magma from Duchamp's urinal. Cheerful magma, horrid magma, something rather worse than magma. Conceptual art goes beyond my chosen subject, but because it has his chosen subject is drawing. But because it has so radically affected the status of drawing and painting, a brief digression about it is needed. There is video art, for instance, by Bill Viola, which is as moving as any painting made in the last century. And there are many conceptual artworks, such as the doom-laden, shamanistic, unsettling pieces by Joseph Beuys, which only an idiot would dismiss. I have my doubts, but anyway. Yet two things are almost immediately obvious to anyone who turns up and actually looks. Never ever take the word of any critic of art about anything if you haven't seen it yourself. First, the conceptual art that tends to immediately impress and perhaps then to stick in the mind is not conceptual. That is, it is not simply a conveyed idea. It has form, heft, colour, texture. There's something to see. It may even have beauty. Richard Long has made art out of walking, except that what you see are the beautiful sculptures made out of natural objects he finds along the way, and the photographs of them, as well as information about his walk. Here's a line I loved. He has not picked up a pencil and taken a line for a walk. He has taken himself almost as a pencil. Damien Hirst's floating pickled wool of a bisected sheep or his diamonds on a skull catch the eye. They are nothing like pure idea. Aesthetics forces its way in, always. Because we are seeing creatures. Colours and form are stronger, more primal, with sharper elbows and louder voices than any conceptualism. Second, if an artist is going to claim that his or her ideas, rather than skill, long observation or talent, are central, the essence of the art, ... then the ideas had better be good. That is, they had better be rather more interesting than, quote marks, hey, we all die, or money corrupts. The idea or concept doesn't necessarily have to have a profound philosophical or scientific point. And then he goes on to various other artists to mention. But I loved that if the art is a concept, it had better be something more than we all die or money corrupts. And I think he's so brave saying it. He's just put his finger on something so key as to why some contemporary art doesn't stay with us, doesn't grab us, doesn't remain in our hearts, doesn't do something. And I know I came across a quote recently by Archie McLeish, the poet, which was saying anything can make us look, but only art can make us see. And sometimes contemporary art seems to be shocking, but if it's actually going to make us see something in a new way, it can be a value, it can make an impact on us that is memorable and lasts for a long time. But I loved this idea that somebody who spent his life in covering politics and international politics. He tends to be more UK based, I think, but obviously with his colleagues in the BBC, they are covering the world events. He's seen a lot of things, a lot of places where money is corrupting, where people do die, and the facts of that. And when he sees it in art, said very, very simply, he's just saying that's not enough. That is not enough. So I'm reading this at the moment. I do want to do a review at the end of the day, but I just love the way he is speaking in such a to-the-point moment and saying that, yeah, we do, conceptual art is not enough. We do need to say, yes, there's a strong concept, and visually, or orally how we hear, or depending what the art is, or we touch it, but it has to be something physical and physically astonishing that remains with us. So that is my recommendation for Oh What a Corker, and that's not the only chapter that is strongly worded and mentions old-fashioned concepts like beauty in art, and is brave enough to show his own drawings as well. So that's my Oh What a Corker. If you love art, if you like history of art, you might find something in this.